Our top story today from the GatewayPundit.com, JD Vance gives an outstanding answer when asked why black people in Detroit should vote for him and Trump. We're talking about this story and so much more here on the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review. My name is Elijah Schaffer, and this is the Gateway Pundit's Week in Review, where we cover the top 5 stories in about 10 minutes. Our top story today from Mike LaChance reports that JD Vance gives an outstanding answer when asked why black people in Detroit should vote for him and Trump. We have the full video here in just a moment. However, it goes on to explain that JD Vance had a campaign event in Detroit this week and was asked at one point why black voters in the city should support him and Trump. He gave a nearly perfect answer. Here's what he had to say directly from the horse's mouth. Watch.
Senator Vance, Ken Coleman from MichiganAdvance.com. Detroit is 77% African American. The state is 14% African American. Why should African American Michiganders vote for the Trump Vance ticket?
We've got a great number of black Americans in this crowd right now. They could probably answer that question better than I could, but without calling everybody up here, because I'm a politician, I don't like to share the microphone with anybody as much as I like them. What I think they would agree with is, number one, Donald Trump wants to bring back public safety and an economy that brings prosperity for everybody. Good wages for good jobs. That's the Trump promise. And I think that's a great promise to black families in Michigan and to everybody else. Here's something else. I mean, there is this idea in the media, and I don't know where it came from, that somehow black Americans don't believe in public safety in this country. Well, we know whether you're Democrat, Republican, or Independent, black Americans do care about public safety in this country. They want to empower our law enforcement officers to do their job. Of course, do it respectfully and make sure we've got good relationships between police and community, but we can have a good relationship between police and the communities they serve while we lock up the violent criminals and keep everybody safe in the process. I think that's very possible. And look, I mean, the story of black Americans, especially in the city of Detroit, is actually very similar to the story of Appalachian white Americans who came from West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. We moved to places like Detroit, black and white together, because there were good jobs for people who were willing to work hard and play by the rules. And it wasn't always perfect, but for a generation in this country, people, black and white, worked together, raised their families, built things in this country, and created prosperity for the entire country. And if you... That was the story, by the way, in the steel mill that my grandfather worked in for almost 40 years. You had black folks and white folks living together, working together, and they again, it wasn't always perfect, but it worked. You know why it worked? Because we had good jobs for people who were willing to work hard and play by the rules. The destruction of the manufacturing economy in the state of Michigan has been disastrous for black Americans, and it's been disastrous for a lot of middle-class white Americans, too. We can make things in this country again. We can build things in the United States of America again, and when we do, it's going to bring prosperity to black and white alike.
And that's true. I mean, the fact is, a lot of people think that black and white issues are different. I mean, they are in some ways, but in terms of what happened, well, the same people that have taken advantage of white America have taken advantage of black America. Who are they? Well, apparently no one wants to really talk about it, but we're talking, of course, about these globalists. Absolutely disgusting and despicable, and I hope that we can get them out of office as soon as possible. Those damn globalists. Speaking of the matter, here we go. North Carolina officials change election rules in hurricane-devastated counties that mostly voted for Trump, fueling Republican election integrity concerns, Jim Hoff reports. In the wake of Hurricane Helene's path of destruction through the southeast, including critical swing states like North Carolina, state election officials have made adjustments to voting rules in response to the devastating impact of Hurricane Helene. The North Carolina Elections Board is a bipartisan effort, passed an emergency resolution aimed at facilitating early voting in 13 counties severely affected by the hurricane. Notably, all but one of these counties, Buncombe, voted for President Donald Trump in 2020, according to Fox News. This raises the question about whether the adjustments are truly about aiding displaced voters or if they are a tactical maneuver to sway the electoral landscape in favor of Democrats. The adjustments include expanding voting sites, extended voting hours, absentee ballot flexibility, which is the big one. Voters can now submit absentee ballots to any of the county's election board rather than being restricted to their local board. The deadline for requesting absentee ballots has also been pushed back to November 4th. Assistance team to help collect absentee ballots. Now, while these changes may seem beneficial on the surface, conservative critics are voicing concerns about a potential voter fraud issue and the integrity of the electoral process. How can we as people ensure that these ballots are legitimate when we can submit them anywhere in the state? Now, President Donald Trump, who narrowly won North Carolina by a mere 1.4 percentage points in 2020, has weighed in on the situation. He expressed confidence that voters will set out despite the storm's impact. I believe they're going to go out and vote if they have to crawl to a voting booth, Trump told Ingram on Monday. His daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, co-chair of the Republican National Committee, is reportedly working on initiatives to ensure the residents in affected areas can exercise their voting rights. Now, I don't know about you, but it always seems convenient that there's always extensions right around the time of election. I actually just got a message from Mark Zuckerberg, who is what? A globalist. And that's direct to my Instagram account telling me, you're in an impacted area of Hurricane Milton. Request your mail-in ballot here. Why are social media companies trying to get me to do mail-in voting? To me, that seems suspicious and only smells of fraud. Now, speaking of that, busted, Kamala Harris forgets to mute her mic as a handler reportedly feeds her questions during hurricane briefing. It's a live broadcast. We have the full video for you, and we'll play it for you in just a moment. Here's her on the hot mic watch.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So it takes quite a while for that water to drain.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Ken, I have a question for you. You mentioned words matter, and I know there's a lot of media following this brief.
Yeah, we have a company and a country and a life made on Zoom. This is the world that we live in. We are officially a Zoom nation. Everything seems to be online except for voting, which very, very soon we will have a voting online. I can guarantee you we'll be in that direction. Now, speaking of interesting stories as well, violence-promoting leftist professor was caught on camera telling students what could happen to men who won't vote for a potential female president. We could line them all up and shoot them. Parents are fed up with teachers indoctrinating their children from kindergarten to grad school. Our youth are being used as tools by the Democrat Party to support, protest, vote, and even commit violence to show their support for the tolerant, diverse, and open-minded left. Students have repeatedly released videos that reveal that, in many cases, the education parents thought their children were receiving in school and education they were actually receiving are two very different things. A shocking video taken inside the classroom reportedly at the University of Kansas shows exactly that. We have the full footage for you here. You have to watch it. Here's what he had to say.
Guys are smarter than girls. You got some serious problems. That's what frustrates me. There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Okay, well, now we've all heard that you've said that, and that's pretty remarkable. Now, many of you know that we have to be strong and we have to be nimble on our feet, and I know a lot of us are tired. We're wasted, our energy's gone. Luckily, I watched this video by Chuck Norris. He's an 84-year-old. You might remember him. He's a patriot. He loves his country, and he's a black belt. But I noticed that he was 84, didn't look 84, and his energy was like that of like a 30-year-old man. And I wondered, well, how did he get that kind of energy? Well, apparently he changed just one thing in his life. And you can find out what that is by going to the link below, chuckdefense.com/pundit. When you go to chuckdefense.com/pundit, what you're going to find in your future is particularly the information you need to feel younger, quicker. Now, his wife also feels the same way. And as she's aged, she said she feels like she's 50, even though she's decades older. Now, the crazy part about this is this couple is both kicking ass and loving this country, but you can't really do that if you don't have the stamina. Now, they've changed just a few simple things in their life and taken these steps, and it's vital that you hear the information on how you can get your energy back at chuckdefense.com/pundit. Check it out today. Now, our last story is remarkable. It turns out that hurricane researchers encountered chaotic scene as they fly into the heart of Milton. Check this out. A chaotic scene unfolded inside a federal research plane tracking the intensity and direction of Hurricane Milton, which is currently in the Gulf of Mexico and is expected to make landfall on Florida's west coast Wednesday night. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration posted footage Tuesday from inside the Hurricane Hunter WP-3D Orion, known as Miss Piggy. In the video, someone was heard saying 147, which perhaps was the wind speed they were monitoring. I have the video for you. It's really interesting that people are flying into this. Watch. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, people are going into the middle of hurricanes. I was told we couldn't do that. That's why weather manipulation definitely wasn't a thing. Now, if you like videos like this every day, don't forget to leave a like and drop a comment down below. Give me your feedback. If you want to subscribe to more of these stories, make sure you join our mug club at thegatewaypundit.com. My name's Elijah Schaffer. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.